Hey now, welcome to Omnibroslivve on February 5th, 2018. Thanks for joining us. My name's OmniDog. I am your co-host with my co-host. That would be Omar from Near Mint Condition. Hello,
What's going
Omar.
on? Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for having me. I'm only on for about 30 minutes. Then I got to do the adult thing and go take care of my kids. So let's get the show on the road. And
All right.
who brings this episode? Who put
Who
this
brings
episode
this episode to us?
What is this episode? Who is this episode brought by?
This is brought to you by In Stock Trades, the fabulous online ordering company, mail ordering company, publishing, whatever, In Stock Trades. You can buy all your comic book softcover and hardcover needs. I know, I'm goofing it up already. You can buy all of your comic book trades from In Stock Trades at prices varying from 20 to 50% off. They have bomb-proof packaging. They have excellent customer service. They have generously decided to invest in the OmniBros by being our sponsor. So we would appreciate it if you take all your online ordering needs to In Stock Trades, also known as IST. I didn't botch that up too bad, but I mean, I got the message through anyway.
All of a sudden, they're going to start publishing books, and you're going to be like, called it.
That's right. I said 5 years ago, In Stock Trades publishing books.
You just, you got it, man. You got it. All right. So what are we talking about today, gentlemen?
Philip Evans is right. I was too focused on my voice and not paying attention to the content of what I was saying. I was like, hey, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about what we've read, what we've hauled, and tonight's reading assignment was the new Avengers Disassembled. And that was the reading assignment.
Brought to you by Gabe.
That's right. What up, everybody?
Brought to us by Gabe.
What's up, guys? How you doing today?
Good, man.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I just got home.
Awesome. You ready to talk about this?
You guys started immediately without me.
We were thinking that since Omar's only got half an hour, we were thinking we'd go ahead and start the Avengers Disassembled discussion first, and then you and I can talk about our hauls and reads after and take questions.
Sounds good to me, man.
Yeah. Okay. So, who had never read this before we decided to? So, Jess, this is your first time reading it.
It's my first time.
All right. Well, why don't you tell us what you thought? This is your first time.
I know less about the Avengers than I know about X-Men, which is shockingly little. I know I know all the characters. I've read into the individual characters' adventures in various places, but I've never read a ton of Avengers the group. So this was a brand new read to me, and I'm using it as an excuse to. This is how far I am so far in the book, like up to here. So I'm using it as an excuse to actually read this fat Omni, because usually I look at an omnibus like this and I just lose all hope in life, and I just go, oh my God, I'm never going to get through that thing. So this is good. I'm enjoying reading it. I'm a clean slate as far as Avengers goes. So I read that story. I loved the art. Let me see if I can pull up a little bit of it. I loved the art. I loved how crazy everything got. And I everything was nuts. Like Tony Stark appeared drunk at the UN. She-Hulk went crazy. All of a sudden, Ultron soldiers showed up. Vision's face melted. What else happened?
She-Hulk goes feral.
Yeah, She-Hulk.
So right off the bat in Avengers 500, you have 3 Avengers die. You have Scott Lang die. Right. Jack of Hearts, who was already dead, comes back for no reason and kind of blows up.
Yeah,
because he died. I think he died during Jeff Johns' run. And
Blows
then
up. I had no idea who Jeff of Hearts was, or Jack of Hearts, rather.
he was a character created by, was it? I think it was Oh no, Busick didn't create him. He was a character that was just obscure that Busick brought into his run.
He had a cute outfit that made him look like playing cards.
Yes, hence the name.
He had the hearts
Jack
and the
of Hearts.
diamonds and stuff on it. Yeah, it's cute.
And then you had I already said Scott Lang. Then you had Vision show up and started popping mini Ultrons and turning the big Ultrons, and then he blows up, and then She-Hulk rips him in half. So right off the bat, I think halfway through issue 500, you get 3 Avengers that are dead.
No, Vision doesn't blow up. He just gets beat.
Well, no, She-Hulk rips him in half.
Right.
Yeah, he melts. Like right here, his face melts. Right here, his face melts, and he just like melts apart and pops out a bunch of Ultrons. So
it's great. It's great because the like you said, like right there at issue 500, like it's just nonstop action. Like it just goes from beginning to end. It's probably like the craziest train ride there is for a single comic book issue, especially at that time. I mean, you get just like that one page of dialogue where they're talking about, basically doing a, who would you fuck if you could kind of situation. And then just from there, just red alerts and destruction throughout the entire issue.
Oh, man, I'm glad you liked it. I thought that was just stupid.
I mean, yeah. That whole thing about Hawkeye wanting to...
character, like...
Oh, yeah, doesn't Hawkeye die or something?
Yeah, Hawkeye dies, I think the next...
502. He dies in 502.
502, okay.
Yeah.
Here's a cool spread, 2-page spread of her going nuts.
Savage.
I remember when this came out, I met Bendis at a comic book convention. He showed me like the non-lettered Xerox scans of the artwork, and it was great. And I just remember when I came out, like everybody just hated Bendis afterwards for killing all of these characters.
Not everybody.
Oh, it was bad, dude. It was bad, and especially when Hawkeye got taken out. Like all of a sudden, everybody became a Hawkeye fan and got pissed off at Bendis for killing them.
Oh, they were already Hawkeye fans.
There's no
Hawkeye
such
was
thing.
awesome.
There's no such thing.
West Coast Avengers, motherfucker.
Before the movie
West
came out.
Coast Avengers.
He was a founding member. Anyway, go ahead, Jess.
The only people who like Hawkeye were people like me who was reading Thunderbolts at the time, and he was in charge of Thunderbolts.
Badass too there. So yeah, Hawkeye dies because there's a Kree invasion attacking the mansion. Seems like the shit is just hitting the fan for the Avengers because it always hits the fans. Always.
It's the fans. Is that a slip that it's hitting the fans like us?
Yeah, like us. Maybe it's a slip of the tongue.
Well, did we talk about who worked on this book? We already know it's Bendis, but did we talk about it's David Finch on the art?
He mentioned the art being David Finch, and there was like a couple pages done by Oliver Copiel, but most of it was David Finch, and then of course the finale, which has an all-star in there. But anyway, go ahead, Jess. Continue. Sir.
Well, I think that, and here's the part where there's a bunch of versions of the Scarlet Witch, which I loved this montage. I thought this was really cool.
John Byrne, George Perez stuff in there.
Yeah. So if you have, and so if you haven't read this, it all gets blamed on. I mean, I'm going to obviously spoil it for you. It all gets blamed on Scarlet Witch's reaction to the fact that she doesn't actually have kids. It's revealed that they planted that thought in her head. Wait, I forget now. Why did they plant that thought in her head?
They didn't plant that thought in her head. She is just so messed up with the fact that she was born with the ability to tap into like magic.
Right.
That's her mutant powers.
Yeah. That she didn't earn it or learn it anything like that. So she just lived so long with these crazy powers where she could shape reality that she wanted something that she could have some kind of control over and to be happy. And to her, that was having children with the Vision. So that's what drew her nuts. And she had the kids, and then what was the lady's name? Argathath, who
Agatha Christie
stole the memory from her.
Agatha Harkness.
But it was just funny how they set that up at the end. That Mockingbird, right? Was it Mockingbird? They were just hanging out at the pool, and she just randomly lets it slip that she had kids. Like it was the most nonchalant. Just, hey, you remember you had kids? Oh shit, never mind. I gotta go pee now.
How stupid is that? Like I refuse to believe that Wasp is that dumb.
Oh, it was Wasp? I did.
Wasp.
And honestly, okay, we'll get to that here in a second. Jess, what happens at the very end?
Well, she like destroys everything in revenge for revenge for the fact. I mean, I don't know. What is?
You just read it.
I know. I just read it, but then I started.
So, okay,
the problem is, I just started reading some more of it, and that pushed the other knowledge out. So go ahead.
No, I do like the idea that you said that you were not the biggest Avengers fan, or not that much about Avengers. So coming into it, you have kind of fresh take on who you know who some of these characters are, based on, I'm sure, their appearances on other comic books. But this is your first time actually reading like. Have you read like Kurt Busiek's run or like Roger Stern's run on Avengers? Okay, all right.
No, I haven't read any of them. I mean, okay. I've read back in the Silver Age. I read some Avengers comic books. That's really about it. I get the concept, and I know Avengers Assemble. And
what about you, Gabe? Right, when you read this for the first time, had you previously read Avengers, or were you just like you just picked up like a tie-in whenever like Maggot or somebody guest starred in the Avengers, which never happened, by the way?
Yeah, they're not cool enough to have Maggot with them. No, I was reading Avengers like before. I mean, of course, like the '90s era stuff with the jackets and like the Onslaught stuff, like the end of that first volume.
Oh, the Bob Harris years, yeah.
Right. And then, of course, into Heroes Reborn, Heroes Return, and then Kurt Busiek, George Perez for a little bit. But before this, that was about it. I stopped for like a long time reading the Avengers. I wasn't very knowledgeable or up to date, other than the stuff that was really going on with the core mainstays, and then a little bit of characters that are sprinkled in during Busiek and George Perez's run. I mean, still like things like I just read this again today, and I still have no idea about Captain Britain being. I think it was a woman. I didn't know that she was a woman.
Lionheart.
Yeah.
Lionheart, yeah, that started with Jeff. I think sort of started with Kurt Busiek's run, and then Jeff Johns took over, and I think Chuck Austen used her. And now, Bendis knocked her out and put her in a coma. And I feel like that's what he did with a lot of the people he didn't know how to write. So that
it's even funny, like in the series, she gets knocked out like off panel, like she gets hurt and she gets taken out like completely off panel. They just mention it in dialogue.
Yeah, I think She-Hulk accidentally like bows her, throws her a bow on accident, and she's like, "Oh, I'm Captain Britain." Shit.
I don't think it was even that severe. I think they just
it was off panel,
and they were just like, "Oh, by the way, we have another man down. Captain Britain's down," and that was it.
So saying that, since I don't have that much time, that was my main problem with this series. I was a big Avengers fan going into this. Like Kurt Busiek, to me, wrote the most beautiful love letter to Avengers in his run, especially ending with the Kang. The Kang. What the hell was the Kang Dynasty? So I was already, and then Jeff Johns took over, and I love Jeff Johns' run. And then Chuck Austen wrote it, and I was like, oh my God, I am so done with Avengers. What happened? This title was so good. It's like they hire somebody that had no idea how to write Avengers, and he just wrote his own little fanfic based on maybe some of the action figures that he had. So I'm like, all right. So then they hyped Bendis up, right? Bendis was coming off of Ultimate Spider-Man, and they were like, we got Bendis and David Finch. Now I know David Finch. I'm sorry, that came out. I don't know David Finch. I knew David Finch because of like some of the Top Cow stuff he did, like Cyber Fours, and oh man, Aphrodite. Thank you. Chick with the green hair, right? And I knew David Finch's like strengths and weaknesses. His strength is he can draw some amazing like action panels, right? His weakness is that he can't draw a lot of like people talking. And that was the one thing I remember about Bendis and his run with Daredevil and Alias. A lot of like dialogue, a lot of people talking to each other.
A lot of talking heads. Bendis really
talking heads, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think that's a term, right, quite often used to describe his style of writing. So my biggest problem with this was it felt like Bendis coming onto this just wanted to get rid of the Avengers, like the classic lineup that he knew nothing about, and kind of make his own team with I'm sure the mandated like Wolverine and Spider-Man, and that's fine. I get that, but I think the way he did it was just really like a smack in the face to a lot of the fans of Avengers, because a lot of these characters sounded the same. Like gosh, that was one thing. Like rereading this, because I also reread this over the weekend, and I had forgotten how much I loathe his dialogue. like I don't mind. Like, not everybody has to sound like Spider-Man. Not everybody has to be a smartass or just play dumb, like asking questions in the background, like Falcon. Like, oh, who's that guy? Oh, are they Krees? This is a panel I had found. Like, this is what I mean. Like his this is David Finch's splash page of all these heroes standing here, and I think of the days of like Jack Kirby or George Perez, how much fun they would have had with this huge splash page panel. I mean, all these guys are just standing like statues. Not really.
Oh.
Yeah,
like, they're not even having
stuff.
Right. Well, there's not even
hanging from the wall.
Well, that's the thing.
Nobody's talking to each other. Like, nobody's talking to each other at all. Like, hey, it's been a while since I've seen you, Firestar. Remember we used to hang, go down to the bar. Not like it's just like, what's up, Captain America?
But did you
see statues with me? Now, like his action, his action panels are amazing. Oh my god, I just turned to the not like this, like this. Man, that was so corny. I hated that dialogue. When Hawkeye sacrifices himself
because his arrow path got shot.
Right, like I'm like, so what? I remember even like when it came out, I'm like, what happened? Did he get like his backpack got caught on fire? Like his arrow pack? Why is he killing himself? Maybe it was just the way that the art was portrayed. And the whole turning Scarlet Witch into a villain.
I wondered what your thoughts were on that.
Well, yes, you can always say, well, she did marry an android and they had kids, but she's always known that she knew that her kids weren't there. This wasn't the first time that was brought up. I mean, did you guys read any of like the John Byrne West Coast Avengers? Because that was brought up during that run. No. Like, hey, you kind of made your kids and they weren't real to begin with. Anyway, so that had already been covered. So anybody that had read these stories were like, been there, done that, right? Except they made it into this huge epic thing that to make his like street level Avengers come into play. Because I guess originally it was supposed to be Daredevil. Everybody knew that, right? Daredevil, Luke Cage, Spider-Woman, because he always had a thing for Jessica Drew. I mean, that's who Alias was kind of loosely based on, because Marvel would not let him use Jessica Drew, so he had to create the other character of Jessica Jones. So, I feel like, yeah, he had this team that he picked out that he kind of knew more about, and he got rid of like all the characters. And I wish that he had kept some of them to use them instead of just.
Did that. Did you hear the story of why he did that?
Why he killed them off, or why he
picked the characters he picked for his Avengers team
to drive sales?
More than him just being like, "Oh, these are just the only characters I'm familiar with." He had the idea or the mindset that when the Avengers was first created, it was all of Marvel's biggest, toughest, biggest name characters brought together as a team. So he just redid that idea. So that's why you have Spider-Man and Wolverine on the team, because they were Marvel's biggest.
And honestly, that's a no-brainer. I'm surprised they didn't do that before.
Exactly.
Or maybe they had more, when Bob Harris was in charge, maybe it was just Joe Quesada going, you know what, screw it, let's put our big guns like they do with Justice League.
But that's what Stan Lee did. He took all the characters and put them on, all the biggest characters, put them all into one book. So you had that idea of, well, I can't afford 12 cents times 6, but I can afford, one book that has everybody in it.
Yeah. So like I said, the idea of Scarlet Witch turning evil came out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere as much as Tony Stark being controlled by Kang the Conqueror the entire time and murdering Avengers, right? And of course, I'm talking about Avengers: The Crossing. That's why everybody had a problem with Avengers: The Crossing. They're like, this is shit. Tony Stark would never do that. He would never kill Avengers. Yeah, he's been an alcoholic. Now, luckily, Avengers Forever fixed all that. Matter of fact, I kind of wish they would do an Avengers Forever Part 2 to kind of fix the mess that Bendis did. But a lot of writers came in and kind of like Alan Heinberg, the guy that did Young Avengers, like he kind of fixed that with the Children's Crusade. So what I will say, the positive things that I will say about this book, that I think it is a wonderful jumping on point for people that don't know anything about Avengers.
Yeah.
Or people that, you know,
I
hate to admit this because I don't like Bendis, but I think it is the safest place to lend somebody a book and say, man, this is what Avengers is. And, you know, without them knowing much about history, because apparently Bendis really didn't either. And they can all, I'm serious. So taking that into account, a new reader can be like, oh, this is awesome. It's like they do away with a bunch of bad or, you know, crappy heroes like this guy named Hawkeye and this lame dude named Jack of Hearts. And, you know, they bring in badasses like Wolverine and Spider-Man. And I think that's a wonderful jumping on point for people that have never picked up an issue of Avengers. I think it's great.
Well, that's why I think it works so well for me.
And apparently I wasn't the only one, because the motherfucker was like at one time had like 3 or 4 Avengers books at a time. Avengers was outselling X-Men. That was crazy. Now, of course, that might have something to do with Chuck Austin writing X-Men, but they were outselling X-Men.
I still think that this is just a huge turning point for the comic book industry. Bendis doing this book with his style of writing, not just like the heavy dialogue and the talking heads, but this is where we were kind of really introduced, and they kept up with the decompressed storylines. I mean, Warren Ellis really started that, but Bendis is what really brought that to the forefront with this book. And this is also what started the whole
you brought up
one
a good
event
point.
leading into another event, leading into another event, and how each story was there to kind of carry you, hand you off onto House of M, which led you to lead off onto like
you mean Marvel
events that came up afterwards, Invasion that led you to Dark Reign, which led you to Siege, led you to New Age of Heroes and everything like that. This is what started that dichotomy of the event being not just a once in a lifetime kind of thing, but being just the whole thing's an event. The last 10, 15 years of Bendis has been one big
If you
event.
remember, because you read comic books in the 90s, I mean, that's all the X-Men were. We used to call it the summer crossover. X-Men, every summer there was a crossover ever since Mutant Massacre led to Fall of the Mutants. Fall of the Mutants led to Inferno to Extinction, and I could go on. And I'm surprised Marvel never did that, because DC had been doing it all along, you know, with Crisis on Infinite Earths, Legends, Invasion. Of course, they were all the Red Sky kind of crossover where, oh, hey, there's a Red Sky. You must buy this book kind of thing. Or the Onslaught, I guess the Onslaught, not impacts, but phases or whatever. But yeah, I'm surprised Marvel never did that, and they took a gamble and they did it with this, starting with Bendis. You're absolutely right, because House of M was just supposed to be an astonishing X-Men Avengers crossover, and then somebody at Marvel was like, "Hey, why don't we just make this just a big like company event? Let's get, you know, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, everybody involved." And Bendis was like, "Fuck it, let's do it. Yeah, sure."
Well, I will say I'm probably the perfect person then to read this, because I had no idea of any of that stuff that went on beforehand. I went into it cold, and I just enjoyed it, because I thought your beef was going to be that they threw Wanda under the bus again, as to destroying stuff, like in House of M. So I thought maybe that was your beef, that they were going back to her.
Oh, no, my beef it just came out of nowhere. Like I said, other than the few issues of West Coast Avengers, it just came out of nowhere, and they really honestly could have spun the wheel and picked anybody. Oh, we'll make Hawkeye the villain. You know, we'll make so-and-so the villain that had a contract with Kang. Kind of like in the way that everybody hated The Crossing for that same reason. These they were kind of written out of character. It makes no sense. And I hated the way they dumbed down the Wasp too. Like I said, even if she had 1,000 margaritas, which is impossible to drink unless they're
I also like splash pages like this.
Yeah, that David Mack piece is beautiful.
Yeah, I like this right here. There we go. I thought that was really cool, where they had all the guest artists.
I like that too. I thought that was really cool. You had Derek Robertson. Of course, he throws his boy Oming in there because he's got to hook him up. And Gatos, who I think is I hate Gatos. I'll go on and say it on the record. I have never been a fan of this guy's artwork. All those
I loved all the splash pages. Here's a cool one too. The original Avengers. I read this one.
This is the era that Gabe was talking about. This is Steve Epting. He did the leather jacket Avengers. You had a bunch of like old Avengers. Even Neil Adams, I think, was in here. Mayhew, Derek Robertson, Gary Frank, Jimmy Chung. Yeah, I like that. I thought that was really cool. I still don't understand, other than just having Bendis have his core team, like why they have to disassemble. But
yeah, why they had to disassemble and then reassemble, and why they couldn't have just had people retire and stuff.
Other than starting over, I think it's I guess it was smart too, because they were like, we'll just start over. Because like I said, New Avengers #1 sold a lot. I was helping a friend out at a comic book store when that book was coming out. I'm like, man, that book's gonna not sell. That Avengers Disassembled was shit. I'm glad he did not listen to me, because he ordered like 50 copies and they were all gone. I'm like, what the fuck?
What year was that? Do you remember what year
that had to
was?
be 2003, maybe 2004, 2003, something like that.
Okay. So coming off a fresh, it sounds like it's really good for the new reader like me, who didn't have any kind of preconceived notion of what the Avengers were or what's going on. I do sort of, in hindsight, looking back at that pool scene, now sort of think that is kind of dumb to have too many margaritas make her say, oh, or like you could have even had 2 kids, like that could have happened, and this whole chain reaction. I agree with that now. I don't mind that Wanda was thrown under the bus and did all this. I thought it was an exciting read. And so since I didn't know anything about the characters, it didn't seem like they were acting out of character. So I found
so you were the perfect audience for this. I think that's great. And if this is what introduces you to Avengers to go read other stuff like Busick's run or Roger Stern's run, then fucking awesome. That's what I say.
Well, it was good enough that it made me want to. Yeah, it was good enough that it made me want to keep going. I'm so bad at starting and finishing Omnis that I am determined. I am finishing this. I am doing whatever I can. I'm reading this thing nonstop until it's just burned through it. So
yeah, I'm gonna finish rereading that Bendis New Avengers myself. I need to find the hardcovers that happen after that omnibus. Fine, right? The New Avengers hardcovers,
4, 5, and 6 are kind of hard to find.
I think were the hard ones to find. Yeah. So I think that's really all I have to say about Avengers Disassembled, because there really isn't that much to say. I mean, when we talked about Identity Crisis, we talked about it for about an hour, but that's just a different kind of storytelling. I feel like Bendis, that's kind of his, he can write 10 issues and you can kind of summarize it in a paragraph. So Scarlet Witch went batshit crazy and killed a bunch of Avengers, and now we have new Avengers.
Well, yeah, because in Disassembled, they went back to the mansion like 3 different times, where everything could have just happened then and there. Like all these attacks could have happened at once, and not, we went to the hospital to go visit Janet, and then then here comes the Kree, and then now here comes Doctor Strange out of nowhere to just explain everything that happened and what's going on.
That was definitely Deus Ex. Like, they throw in Doctor Strange in there, but altogether, like I actually loved the lineup of New Avengers when that started. I thought it was cool.
Like, great too, man. That was cool.
But then they fucked that up. I hated the way he wrote this.
That's right. It is what it is. I mean, they started somewhere, and then they had to just they were spinning their wheels.
Honestly, I really love the idea.
That Little Siege, which was one of the best. Like Siege is one of the best events that they had for the longest. Really? I think so. That's like my favorite event.
But you're a bigger Bendis fan than I am. I never really. I love the ideas. I just didn't like the execution. I love the idea of Secret Invasion. I thought that was a wonderful idea.
And then,
I didn't like the what's that?
The stuff that happened in this book, like the events and the fallouts and the things that changed in this book, lasted for like what, a decade, if not longer.
I'll be right back.
All right, Jess, go have fun. He's gonna go take a dump.
I'm the one that had to leave.
No, but I'm saying like nowadays, when something happens, like Captain America being a Nazi or whatever, that gets changed almost immediately. Like the next.
Well, we knew that was not gonna last. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Lasted like Scarlet Witch being bad or not being bad, but everybody having her saying no more mutants after this.
Well, that's all Bendis though. It lasts because if you're the writer on everything for the next 7 years, then you're gonna make it last, right? Well, it's not like somebody else came in after him and was like, all right, let's switch everything up. Avengers Reassemble or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
But according to him, he had it planned out for 10 years. Like he was like, this is my entire, not the whole thing, but the basic lineup was planned out from the beginning. Like he knew it was going to be this, and this, and this, and this. But that's what I liked about this is that what happened here in the deaths didn't just come right back, 2 years later. It was like 12, 13 years later before Heinberg kind of rewrote everything with the Crisis Crusade or Children's Crusade. Yeah. And up until then, you didn't know where Scarlet Witch was, and there was still no mutants being born. They all lost their powers.
The problem with Bendis at the time too is that he is one of the first writers that I remember at the time being very like vocal about his writing on like the internet. He was on forums. He was everywhere.
I was a big member of his forum back in the day.
Yeah, and I remember he kind of came across like a know-it-all. Mainly with the new Avengers, when everybody threw a shit fit about him, like making Sauron throw a fireball, and he was like, "Yeah, that happened. I remember reading that. Trust me, I read every issue of X-Men." So, things like that, right? Or the whole thing with like him going to break the internet. Do you remember when that was coming out? He's like, "Man, by the end of House of M #3, I'm going to break the internet in half." And it was just, I think Hawkeye came back at the end of that issue, so he kind of really built things up. He was so vocal on the internet community that he literally had to change the fucking character of Ronan because everybody guessed that it was Daredevil. And he was like, so he pulled the fucking, what's it called? Armageddon. Instead of being Captain Atom, they changed it to fucking Hawk, right? Because they knew everybody figured it out. So he did the exact same thing with, he's like, oh, no, it was never Daredevil. Well, it was always
Jeff Loeb did the same thing with the Red Hulk. Everybody knew it was going to be Talbot.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of that happens, man.
Yeah. But that's a problem with this day and age. And I kind of started with the whole forums back then and creators like touching base with their fans as you start guessing the storylines with one another and starts figuring things out, and then you have to kind of switch it up. Or just keep going. Nowadays people guess the story and they just keep going with it. And that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
We shouldn't change the course of their storylines.
Right. So overall, you guys loved it.
I like it. I still recommend this book. For years, I've recommended this book to people at the comic book stores. You want somewhere to start. I don't know where to read.
Jumping on point.
Yeah, Disassembled is really good. Because like I said, there's a storyline. It goes from here to House of M to Secret Invasion to Seeds, all of this stuff. Or like Ultimates is another good version. If you like the Marvel movies, Ultimates is a perfect Avengers story as well. Nowadays, I might start people off at like Avengers versus X-Men, but yeah.
What? No, that's convoluted crap.
It's the start of a new generation. It's a start of a whole new storylines and everything.
I think you've got too much history with Marvel, Omar.
I think we need to read something that I've never read before, so I can not seem like an asshole that hates everything. Because I actually enjoy a lot of books. It's just the shit that Gabe chooses that I don't really enjoy.
Well, let's do this after Planetary, because Planetary is up next, right? We're doing Planetary next.
Yeah.
How about after that?
I haven't read that in years, so I'm excited to read it.
After Planetary, let's pick like 4 or 5 books and make like a poll on the group. And
it's a good idea. It's a good idea. Then everybody can join in and have a vote as to what we should read. Right?
And then
if you all choose Ultimates Volume 3 by Jeff Loeb.
Yes. Ultimates Volume 3. I'll put Punisher Max on there too.
Trigonosis 81. Actually, I think you're right. She was in New Excalibur by Chris Claremont, the character Lionheart. And on that note, guys, I'm out. It was so much fun talking to you guys for 30 minutes. I will see you guys on Thursday. I gotta go take care of my kids.
Before you go, here, this is something that I bought. Just so
you're gonna hate that book. Why'd you buy that? That book
you told me to buy it. God damn you!
Much love, guys. Bye, everybody.
Okay, bye. Freaking guy.
Yeah, he got you again, Jess, to buy something shitty.
No, he told. I remember specifically in the episode with Peter M that he listed this one book as something that was really good. So he better be right.
That's Peter David, right? That did Fallen Angels.
This says Duffy.
Oh, okay. Dwayne McDuffie? No. Wait.
Just Duffy, Gamel, Severin, Staten. I haven't opened it yet. I just got it.
Okay.
It's got what's the crazy looking X-Men? The guy with like the wires. Is it Warlock?
Warlock, yeah.
Yeah, I want to read more about him because I don't actually know anything about him.
Spoiler alert. No.
Go ahead.
He dies.
In this book?
No. I think he dies in New Mutants book.
Oh, well, that's okay. Everybody's got to die sometime.
I think, yeah. But then he comes back and merges with one of the shittiest X-Men characters ever called Cypher, and they become a Douglock.
Deadlock?
Douglock.
Douglock?
Yeah. You know who Cypher is from the New Mutants?
Cypher, yeah. He was... yeah, he had a problem with Wolverine or something, didn't he? Oh, no, that was Cypher.
No. That's somebody else. I'm talking about he's just this scrawny, blonde-haired guy from New Mutants named Doug Ramsey who can talk to computers. Or, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, okay, I don't know.
To learn languages really, really quick. And that's his entire power, is he can learn language.
Okay, so he gets turned into Douglock.
Yeah, Douglock.
That sounds like
early 2000s, I think.
That's like a Far Side cartoon or something that somebody would merge into Douglock.
So with that, Jess, what else have you got, man? Show us your haul.
Oh, okay. This is probably going to be one of the last of my big hauls. I have taken a look at my collection and I realize that I've got a ton of unread books, just too many unread books, and I'm just going to start slowing down and really getting just a couple of books a month so I can really start catching up. I've got way too many unread books.
No, I'm the same way, man. I've been cutting down on my buying and trying to amp up and focus more on my reading because I got a lot of unread stuff too.
Yeah, it's really kind of ridiculous when you just continually buy like I've been doing and not enjoy what you're getting. It's almost like I'm buying just for the sake of buying. So
it's not a habit. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, do you ever just look at your collection and go, oh man, I want to read that, but I also want to read that, but I haven't read this yet either, and I haven't read that. Right. Somebody in the group said to read this, and I haven't. I want to read it now, and yeah.
That's exactly right. So yeah, this is gonna be the last of my giant hauls because I'm gonna get like just a couple things a month from now on until I get like half my collection read.
Exactly, it's a good plan.
I got Saucer State, which is I believe a sequel to Saucer Country, and I got a couple of books about the Inhumans, Royals 1 and 2.
Oh, okay. Those are fun. Those look fun.
Yeah, I like the Inhumans. Not as much as Gio, but I do like them. This book sounded good. I forget. It was just something that sounded good. God Shaper.
Simon Spurrier. I like Simon Spurrier. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. And so it sounds like it sounded like a good premise. So I will. This is something that I'll try and read soon and do a review on because it's so different. Hey guys, where's a good place to get Way's Deadpool and Shadowlands omnibus books? Trigonosis 81, that would be In Stock Trades online at www.instocktrades.com, where you can get your trades for 30 to 50% off. Excellent packaging and shipping and excellent customer service. Thanks, Trigonosis, for reminding us.
Free shipping on $50 in the US.
On $50 and up, that's correct.
Yep.
Then I got...
There's a lot of good stuff coming out this week, too, so we'll talk about that later.
Right. I got Divinity, the complete trilogy from Valiant. This is a big book. I'm really excited about this.
Let's talk about Valiant when we get done with this for a little bit, too, because there's been some shakeups at Valiant lately.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Well, after we get done with this, I don't want to cut you off, man.
No, that's fine. Generation X, because that was recommended by Peter M. And then this guy I know recommended See, this is what I do. All of Gotham Academy I got.
Yeah.
Because you recommended it. So I said, okay, I better not just buy one. I'll go get them all, which is insane.
Yeah, but you pay like $7-8 a piece or something on in-stock trades for those.
Well, then that's true. Yeah.
Did you read any of it?
Sorry?
Did you read any of the Gotham Academy yet?
I haven't yet. No, this stuff all stayed in the buy pile. I haven't moved it to the read pile yet. And then Magneto, as suggested by Riley and Peter M., I think.
Is that the Cullen Bunn series?
Correct.
Oh, man, you're in for a treat, dude. That stuff's great.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And then I finished off with, I realized that I didn't have any of this, and this was also Cullen Bunn, and it's supposed to be really good. That is Sinestro, or Sinestro, however you want to say his name. I've always said it's Sinestro.
I say Sinestro too. That's
okay, good. Wait, is it? Yeah, and people with non-matching spine disorder, here's a trigger for you. This is hideous. That's Sinestro right here.
Well, that's 3 out of 4. 75%. Whatever.
That's true.
It doesn't bother me, but yeah, I
guess it doesn't bother me. I know some people bother, but that's what I hauled.
All right, man. Cool.
Yeah.
Let me show you what I didn't buy much. Like I said, I haven't been buying a lot because, well, one, I'm trying to save up for that Infinity box set next month. Because that's going to happen. I don't care. I'll sell kidneys and toenails. So instead, I've been kind of taking advantage of my job with all the signings we've been having lately. So instead of buying stuff, I've been just kind of getting cool things signed from my collection. This week we had Andy Kubert and Matthew Rosenberg in the store, so I got my Executioner song signed by Andy, and then recently I got it signed by Greg Capullo as well. So I got that. That's a cool little double signature there.
Very nice.
And then moving on to the Omnibus side of things, again with Andy Kubert, I got my Age of Apocalypse Omnibus autographed by him as well.
Very nice.
Again, these are books that I love, and I've read the stories before, but since I've had them in omnibus form, I haven't read them. I want to reread them over again. And the last book I got signed is my Fatal Attraction, because the whole image and idea of Wolverine getting his adamantium ripped out of him is one of the greatest comic book moments of my comic book reading life. I don't think I'll ever forget the moment I read that book where the adamantium is pulled out of Wolverine. That stuck with me forever, and me and Andy talked about it for a little bit as well. But yeah, so that's some of my haul, was getting these books signed at the
nice. Good use of your time.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna take advantage of as much as I can to get cool things like that signed. What else did I get? Oh, also signed single issues. I just love this image from Legion's Legacy of Magneto holding a dead Professor X, and that's what started the Age of Apocalypse. And then today I found a Thanos #1 single issue, because I haven't owned it yet, and I don't know why I'm not reading this book in singles as well as picking it up in hardcovers when it comes out. But speaking of,
did you say you got that signed by somebody, or you just bought it?
No, I just bought it. I actually bought that today on my way back home to do the show. I found a spot.
Okay. Yeah, I really enjoyed that series.
Yeah, I got a couple other things signed, but I left them at the store to get. I got sent off to CGC to get graded. I got the first appearance of Gambit signed, and my copy of X-Men 25 I was talking about. I got that signed as well. And those are being sent off to be graded at CGC.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, speaking of Thanos #1s, I showed you guys this in our chat group. I got my Iron Man 55 back from CGC as well.
Sorry, 9.0, sweet.
Yep. Got my 9.0 first appearance of Thanos back from CGC. I bought this about 5-6 years ago at San Diego Comic-Con, the year before Avengers came out. the movie Avengers came out, so nobody really knew that Thanos is a part of the Marvel universe yet. Got it for like $200.
Oh, and 9.0 condition? What a steal.
Yeah. And now that it's graded in 9.0, that book is crazy stupid money right now. And it's only going to get a little bit bigger once the movie hits, once Infinity War is actually shown.
Right.
Thanos bitch slapping everybody around. Can't wait for that.
Your boy.
Yeah, man, I'm ready for it. It's great. I'm gonna put that up next to my my Thanos statue for sure. My
that is cool.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
That's it for me. That's it for what I got for my hauls.
Let's see. I read Red Hood and the Outlaws Volume 2. This was even better than Volume 1. This was really good. Oh, it's so good. This is called Who is Artemis? And Artemis is the Amazonian that is with him, with Red Hood and with Bizarro, the greatest threesome, or trio rather. When I say threesome, that doesn't sound right.
That'd be pretty damn
greatest. Greatest trio. A surprisingly great book. Black Bolt. I didn't have any preconceived notions about it, but boy, was it good. I enjoyed the heck out of Black Bolt. And I also read All New Wolverine, 4 paperbacks of it. It was great. Then on the Omnibus page, I did a big review of this book, Castle in the Stars, which I really enjoyed. I just now noticed that balloon looks a little bit like a skeleton face when it's put up against her face right there.
A little bit, yeah.
Looks a little skeletal there. And then I read... oh, I feel like I already talked about this. Suicide Risk, maybe this is from a week ago. I feel like I already said that I read it.
Yeah, I think we talked about it a few times already. But...
Hey, I think so. So I'll skip that and say that I read 4 Kids Walk Into a Bank.
Ooh.
Really good. You'd really like this.
I already got a sign for you.
What's that? Oh, yeah, I know. Really snappy dialogue. And I read volume 6 of Postal.
Right on.
Yeah. So that was great. Quite happy. Oh, I just see some other... I see that I got... screw it. Some other stuff that I hauled, but forget it.
You're just stumbling over new stuff that you bought. You don't even know yet.
No.
You can always show it off next week.
Yeah. What about you? What did you read?
Yeah, besides the Avengers Disassembled that I read today for our reading assignment, I'm almost done with it. I got 1 issue left. I stopped to do Avengers Disassembled. But I finally, I'm all the way through almost, besides 1 issue of Tom King and Gabriel Hernandez's Vision.
Nice.
Yep, this is a wonderful book. Everybody was super right about how great this book is. I'm glad I waited this long and I held out for the hardcover. It's just beautiful to read this whole thing in one big batch, all together at once. And then, of course, there's a ton. Like, here's the story. And then here's all the extras from the director's cut stuff. So it's just really
a crazy amount of extras.
Yeah, it's almost like half and half. Like you get about as much extras as you do actual story. So that's a fantastic book to pick up. Wavy pages or not, I mean, this is totally worth it. Zero. None of the wavy pages prevented me from enjoying this story whatsoever. No, but it's interesting because there's not a lot of action for a book about a mainstay Avengers character. It's very much family related. It's very much him dealing with his kids having problems at school, his wife having some really weird issues and killing people, and
yeah, she does.
Yeah, this is just completely. I remember this book came out, the singles. It was just under everybody's radar, and I see why, because it's just the Vision with a made-up family. But even though they're not real family, like just the family values, the family story, the family love is very, very real in that storyline. So that's a great book. That's basically what I read, but I'm going to finish up that Vision book probably after the show tonight.
Yeah, and I'm going to continue reading New Avengers. Because I'm really I am enjoying it a lot. I am one of those guys that likes Bendis's writing, and I'm in a really good part right now. That I'm really enjoying it, and I'm about a third of the way through the book, I guess.
Yeah, I remember I fell off New Avengers after a little bit just because I think I just stopped buying comics for a couple months and I just never picked it back up again. But that's why I wanted to get like the hardcover, or is it the Secret Invasion Omnibus almost like the sequel to that Omnibus?
Is that the one that's getting released this year?
Right.
Yeah, I haven't seen the issues that Secret Invasion is going to include, so I couldn't actually say because I know so little about the Avengers. So I'm the perfect reader for this Bendis run. I don't know where Secret Invasion comes in.
Yeah, it's a little bit into it because
this run.
I never got around to the part of them revealing Ronin as being Echo and that whole Daredevil Ronin kind of fiasco. But I want to get back and read it because it's Disassembled really like with you got me back into wanting to read that series and just continue on with what was going with it. I remember I picked it up later down the line around the Siege area and stuff like that when it was Avengers and New Avengers and they had all these Avengers titles going on at once. But I do want to just pick it all up and just see the Century and just the whole storyline involved with all that as well. What is the issues
for Avengers Invasion? I mean, Secret Invasion?
Yeah. Can we find that? Secret Invasion by Brian Michael Bendis Omnibus. Looking at, let's see.
Hugo Rios, yes, I do have the whole new Avengers set. Thank you for asking.
All right, so it's Secret Invasion 1 through 8, prologue, New Avengers 31 through 32. What issue is that Omnibus stop at, or whatever that you have?
I will check. It stops at New Avengers 27 and 31.
Okay. So this one has 31 through 32, and then it skips to 39 through 49. Mighty Avengers, and then Mighty Avengers 7, 12 through 20, and then New Avengers Illuminati 1 through 5. That's a great series. I love that Illuminati series. So it kind of sort of is the sequel to that Omnibus. I mean, we're missing like 5 issues or so.
Okay.
So yeah, that might be a good idea to, because that I think you could find that New Avengers Omnibus for pretty damn cheap right now.
The one I'm reading?
The one you have right now. I think you can find it for fairly cheap right now, yeah.
Okay.
But I already have the Secret Avenger or the Secret Invasion hardcover, oversized hardcover, so I'll be double dipping a little bit, but I wouldn't mind I'll be buying it more for the New Avengers storyline.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, so Valiant, did you hear Valiant got bought out?
I did, yeah. Let's talk a little bit about that. I know that Dinesh or whatever his name is out as the head of it.
Yeah, he's out. I'm pretty sure. Hopefully, that guy walked away with a huge payout check for that. But yeah, so Valiant got bought out by a Chinese, just like a holding firm. Is that what you call it? They're just a company that just kind of just buys up companies, kind of thing.
Right.
So yeah, and it's mainly probably for the movie rights and things like that. But they've also been slowly reprinting some of the hardcovers, haven't they? Or they've been announcing new, because there wasn't like a new Quantum and Woody hardcover that came out.
Yeah, I had heard that they were reprinting some stuff, and they weren't going to do it earlier. But now I've heard some announcements. I don't know that I've seen books being reprinted, but I know I've heard announcements of it.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if anything is going to change or be taken out with this whole new ownership. But normally when these publishing companies get bought out by huge conglomerates like with Marvel and Disney, they don't really get too much into the publishing side of things. Like they didn't buy Valiant because of comic books. They bought them because of movie rights. Just kind of IP generator kind of thing.
Right.
Well, I mean, if they do, because the initial always said they weren't going to reprint the oversized hardcovers, they were going to go into a different format, which people thought either meant like paperback omnibus or something like that. But maybe that might change now that he's no longer has a say in the company. But we'll see.
Yeah, that was surprising. It just happened overnight. Just boom, boom.
Yeah, because some of those Valiant books are still going for big money right now. Those out of print ones, especially like Bloodshot. That Bloodshot book is still like $120 or something right now, I think.
Wow. Okay. And did you want to talk about new releases tomorrow?
Yeah. I got
IST,
the email here.
Okay.
So let me see. Let's go ahead and give me a sec to kind of share all the screen happening here.
Well, I have to apologize to E. Tyler Lindvall. I have an orange shirt on, and it went with my blue sweater. So because of the orange shirt, I couldn't put on a festive sweater. So I apologize, Eric Tyler Lindvall, that my sweater's so boring tonight.
You look like you got a Deathstroke colors going on. All right, so screen share, and let's take a look at. All right, everybody. So here is, we got this set up. I got it this time to work on Excel.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So here's all the releases that are due to hit in-stock trades tomorrow. What's the time this site normally refreshes? Like
3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So there's a lot of great stuff on here. Big thanks to Cameron. He's really on top of the game, sending us this email week after week so that we could share this week's specials with everybody. I would love to have Cameron on the show, or somebody from IST on the show, just kind of hang out and maybe talk shop about how their website works and the things they got going on behind the scenes, or just something cool like that. Maybe to kind of have the people in the chat maybe have a quick discussion as well. I think that'd be fun.
That's a fun idea.
Yeah. All right, so we're starting off here. I have this filtered by publisher. So we got
okay, good.
We got first, second. There's a couple things on here. I'm not a big first, second reader. I don't think I've ever heard of any of these books coming out this week. And they have a 25% discount off of all these titles they got going on here. Does this look okay, Jess? Do I need to blow it up or anything, or is it?
No, it looks fine.
All right. Action Lab. Action Lab has Danger Doll Squad Volume 1, Dollface trade paperback Volume 3, Force trade paperback Volume 1, and Princeless Raven Pirate Princess Volume 4.
I
Jimmy
think Tyler Blunt signed in with the wrong network. He signed in as Nerd News Network. Is that you, Tyler? Is Nerd News Network?
Oh. Oh, we just exposed them live on the show. Aftershock Studios publishers, they have Jimmy's Bastards, which I've been hearing really good things about, and Pestilence Volume 1. Those are also 25% off. Archie has got a Marvel Comics Digest Avengers Black Panther. That's interesting that Archie has a Marvel Digest coming out.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Boom Studios, Backstagers, trade paperback Volume 2, expansive original graphic novel as well. And then Dark Horse, good old Dark Horse, who seems to be losing a lot of their licenses. I think right now Dark Horse is really up on the Hellboy stuff and like Black Hammer, but they also have Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 11 trade paperback Volume 1 coming out. That's going to be 42% off, which brings that $20 trade paperback down to just $11.59 for IST users. Gru Play of the Gods trade paperback, and Incognegro. I love saying that word, Incognegro. A graphic mystery hardcover. And then we have another offering from the Mobius library, Inside Mobius Hardcover Volume 1. I want to check that out now. I love Mobius's work. But that's 42% off, and that's a great deal because that's only $23.19 after that discount. All right, so let's move on to some of the big heavy hitters this week.
Yeah, that's a big book right there.
Yeah, this is the big one. I don't have the first one, but now that the second one is out, I'm really that's gonna light a fire under my pants to pick up Volume 2 of Absolute Wonder Woman by Azzarello and Cliff Chiang. That's for everybody else out there in the world who doesn't know about in-stock trades. They're going to pay $125 for that book. But if you have IST, if you go to instocktrades.com, you can get that for half off. And that's $62.50. That's crazy for that book. And then also we have Aquaman by Peter David, book 1. There's something there for Gio or anybody else who's... Then a lot of people have been kind of clamoring for a Peter David Aquaman book. And here we got volume 1 at 42% off. So that makes it $17.39. Cave Carson has a Cybernetic Eye, volume 2. Challenges of the Unknown by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. That's 42% off the $30 cover price for $17.39. This is the first time Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale ever worked together.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Elseworlds Spider-Man Trade Paperback Volume 1. Green Lantern Corps Hardcover Volume 1, Beware Their Power. Is that New 52, Jess? Do you know, or is that
that's priced at $40? That sounds like it might be a like a Rebirth title.
Yeah, Rebirth, okay.
I think so.
All right. Well, here's something for you, Jess. House of Secrets Bronze Age Omnibus hardcover.
Yes.
And there's got to be some. I know there is. There's going to be some beautiful Neil Adams stuff in that book. Beautiful Neil Adams stuff. Again, that's $125 hardcover, but in stock trades is going to hook everybody up at 50% off, making that $62.50.
Okay, they're saying in the chat the Green Lantern Corps is old stuff, not Rebirth.
Is it the old stuff? Okay. Awesome.
Okay, so it must be New 52 or older.
One of my favorite books. I haven't read it up this far, but I read like the first 6 issues, and I absolutely love it. Is Scooby Apocalypse, and this is Scooby Apocalypse Volume 3 trade paperback. $16.99 cover price, 42% off, brings that bad boy down to less than $10 for you. That's $9.85. Teen Titans by Jeff Johns, trade paperback, volume 2. Is that reprinting the stuff that was in the omnibus? I'm assuming, right? Do you know?
I think so. Yeah.
We got drawn quarterly items as well. Let's go down to. Is there anything on here? It's kind of just hit the high points at this point.
Okay.
IDW's got some great Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Volume 18 from the ongoing series. Trial of Krang at 30% off. Everything IDW this week looks like it's 30% off. The Transformers G.I. Joe First Strike, Weird Love hardcover, Winona Earp.
That's a good TV show. I like that TV show.
Is it good? I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Marvel. Let's talk about some Marvel stuff. There's some great deals here as well. Amazing Spider-Man Worldwide hardcover volume 3. 42% off will make that $20.29. Avengers and Champions trade paperback Worlds Collide. Black Panther by Hudlin trade paperback volume 3 complete collection. I think we're going to be doing something later with Black Panther on the show. I think we might be reviewing volume 1 of this series, right, Jess?
Yeah, I think so.
And then, as mentioned in the chat, somebody was asking where they could find the Daredevil Shadowland Omnibus. Well, here you have it, folks. There's 2 covers. You got that the Philip Tan Direct Market, and I'm pretty sure the original cover is that John Cassidy cover. Again, these big old omnibus are getting more expensive. $125 for Shadowland. IST will be $62.50. That's half off as well. As well, we have the Deadpool by Mark Waid Omnibus Volume 1. I kind of want that. I kind of really want that now for $50. Not bad at all. Inhumans Once and Future King trade paperback. I think that's the entire series of that collected in one big batch. Invincible Iron Man by Bendis. This is kind of a Bendis heavy episode. So that's on here as well. For the Star Wars fans, Dr. Aphra Volume 2 is coming out as well. Lots of good stuff coming out this week. And I think, do you see anything on here you want to see? Oh, Ninjak Classic Omnibus. That's awesome.
Yeah, and then Secret Weapons.
Oh, yeah, the Secret Weapons is on there too. Right on. So those are two really good. Those are great books to get because when those Valiant books go out of print, they absolutely skyrocket like crazy. So instead of paying the over $120 that a lot of the out of print Valiant books go for, hit up In Stock Trades, get it for $17.45 for Secret Weapons and $69.99 for the Ninjak Complete Classic Omnibus. And that's free shipping if you get that in the US.
Yeah, just for that book.
Just for that book. You can just buy that, get nothing else, and get a nice big old box that will get hopefully gently left at your doorstep by UPS. And there you go, everybody.
Dr. Aphra's good. We had somebody mention Carthago. Carthago's really good. I read that quite a while ago, but I remember it's a humanoids book that I really liked. Tolga was talking about that.
Oh, yeah, that's on here. Yeah, those humanoids books don't get big discounts. It's 25% off, which is still any discount off of humanoids is insane because those books are extremely fine quality books for sure. That's $18.71 on that book.
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be one of those days people have been dreading.
Yeah, it's been dry for God, probably since Christmas time, if not maybe even Thanksgiving. For me, at least, hasn't been much coming out. But this is at least 4 or 5 books on here. I think I'm going to have to just pick up over time.
Yeah, over time. That's the key.
That's the key word right there. There's no way I'm going to just drop $200-$300 on omnibuses anymore like that.
No, me either.
Yeah,
turning over a new leaf.
That's right. But man, that Deadpool by Daniel Way. I know Riley doesn't like the guy very much, but I did enjoy this Deadpool stuff a little bit. But man, I got Riley on the bus as it is. Like it's crazy. So I might have to just break it up.
That's true. I got a ton of them. But Riley has talked so poorly about Daniel Way's Deadpool run that I don't think I really want it. I think the only thing I'm going to get tomorrow, since I'm chopping back, is the Absolute Wonder Woman.
Yeah, if I had to pick anything, it would definitely be the Absolute Wonder Woman. Or, you know what? I'm really interested in the Peter David trade paperback as well for Aquaman.
I know that's a really good run, but I'm going to have to wait on that one. Do we want to take questions now, or is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, we can talk about something as questions come through. But yeah, sure. Everybody, if you got any questions or whatnot, hit us up in the chat, and we'll get that all set up for you.
Yeah, I think Riley is getting it anyway, even though he's shit talked about Daniel Way. I think you're right. He is going to get it anyway. Aiku says that.
Well, when you're called the Omnibus Collector, you kind of have to live up to it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Jess, did you see the new Infinity trailer?
I did just see it, I think, this morning.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. That was on the Super Bowl it debuted?
I guess so. I didn't really watch much of the Super Bowl. But yeah, I saw it afterwards for sure. Not much more new stuff to it. It's only like a 30-second spot. But I didn't want to watch it because I don't like watching too many trailers. So I just had my wife describe it to me, and it was really cute watching her describe it to me. She's like, she's like, oh, it's showing Spider-Man.
How old is she?
I'm sorry?
How old is she?
She's my age. She's 36.
And who is this now? She was describing it?
My wife?
Oh, your wife. Okay.
Yeah, I guess she was just like watching it on her phone, and she was like, "Oh, it's Doctor Strange, and he's doing magic stuff, and Spider-Man looks scared, and Iron Man looks totally distraught, like something's going on. He's got really cool sunglasses." Like that's just the way she was describing it to me. It was funny.
Oh, okay. I thought this was some little kid that you knew or something. I was like, wait, who is this again?
No, that's Mrs. Infinity Watch.
Mrs. Infinity Watch. Okay, Mrs. Watch. Okay. Omnipool asks OmniDog, is there any of the Rebirth books not worth the read? Yeah, Justice League and Justice League of America, both are kind of lame. Cyborg has not gotten good reviews. I have not read it, but it's not gotten good reviews. I think Blue Beetle has not gotten good reviews. I have not read it. If I haven't read it, it usually means I've been warned off from it by somebody, usually the Welsh bastard Ryan Sayce, who's read all of Rebirth. Hellblazer, I had the misfortune of reading. That was not good. Hellblazer, no, that is, they've really struggled with Hellblazer ever since they ended the Hellblazer series. They rebooted it as Constantine and Hellblazer and stuff, and they just really have struggled.
Does that have something to do with it being just like, are they kind of, I don't use the word neuter the character, but are they kind of just like not making it so like demons and hell and the devil and stuff like that? Or
yeah, it seems the Rebirth one I read maybe a few months ago, so I'm trying to remember what I didn't like about it, but it seemed like it dealt more with his personal life and didn't deal. I liked it when it was his personal life and demons and hell. That's fine when they mix, but when it's just his personal life and all the people he screwed over and stuff, I don't know. It didn't sound like a true British voice coming through writing a British guy. It sounded like somebody trying really hard to make him British and interesting, but he wasn't. And they really played up the whole bisexuality thing, which is fine. I mean, if you want to write a character that is that way, I got no problem with it. But I just don't find it interesting in Constantine. I think it does sort of double the pool of people he can screw over. Literally, yeah. I mean, the people whose lives he can ruin, but he could ruin men's lives and women's lives as easily without having sex with them in the original Hellblazer series. So I didn't. I didn't. I don't know. I just didn't dig it.
Yeah. I mean, I think those are the only books that are being canceled too from DC's Rebirth line so far. I know Blue Beetle's getting canceled. I know Cyborg is getting canceled. I think it was Hellblazer is getting canceled.
Oh, is Hellblazer getting canceled too?
I want to say yes, but I might be wrong. But I know for sure Blue Beetle and what was the other one? Blue Beetle and Cyborg. I know those are on the chop.
Yeah, I was sorry that Superwoman's getting canceled because that was a good series. I enjoyed that. Superwoman was really good. Hey, I'm getting every good Daredevil run in Omnibus for $360. Miller, Bendis, Brubaker, and Wade. Is that a good deal? I don't know. You'll have to be more specific on exactly what books you're buying.
Yeah, and are they like the first print Miller books too, or what? Hey, I'm just gonna read the question. Hey, I'm getting every good Bendis or every good Daredevil run in Omnibus for $360. Miller, Bendis in trade, Brubaker and Wade 1.
It sounds like a lot.
Yeah, I mean, is it both Frank Miller Omnibus and is it both Brubaker Omnibus?
Yeah, we need more specifics there.
Yeah.
Omnipool Superwoman was good. I think there'll be 3 trades of it put out in total. There were 18 issues. It was good. What are your 3 favorite comic strips? Calvin and Hobbes, Peanuts, and Farside.
Yeah, I definitely have to go with Peanuts. There was a comic strip I used to read that was called The Duplex that I thought was really great. And Garfield. I loved Garfield.
Oh yeah, Garfield's classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pogo gets an honorable mention. I agree with that. I love Pogo. Moon Knight by Bendis any good? I haven't read it. It's gotten good reviews from people. It was rare for a while. Now it's getting put out in a deluxe edition this year.
Oh, is it? That's cool. I remember a lot of people were clamoring for that for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Someone's asking me if I heard anything about the John Wick series. The new John Wick comic. I think it's only issue 1 is out. I think issue 2 is coming out in the next couple of weeks. But that issue 1 blew out of the store. I haven't had a chance to read it because it sold out immediately. But I'm interested. I really want to get it. I'll probably wait for a hardcover. But anything John Wick, I'm all over right now. I love the whole John Wick universe and everything.
I got to watch those movies.
Oh, you haven't watched them yet, Jess? Oh,
no, I haven't.
Wow, you're in for a treat, dude. I wish I was you. I wish I could watch those movies for the first time again. If
really, they're that good, huh?
The first one is phenomenal. The first one's excellent. The second one, still great, but I didn't get the same feels as I did with the first one. But it's still really, really good. And they take place like part 2 starts like 30 seconds after part 1. It's like
cool. I don't have an opinion on Daredevil Shadowland. Cuban Groove. Do you have an opinion on it, Gabe? Do you know anything about it?
Yeah, I read it in singles. I didn't like it. I didn't like it much at all, really.
That seems to be the consensus. I heard other people say that it wasn't really very good.
It was good, and then just like the end game, like the way they kind of, because the story is basically like Daredevil not turned evil, but he becomes like possessed or is in charge of the hand and basically is evil. And just the way that they kind of break that hold over him is just like extremely lame. Like I just rolled my eyes and just couldn't get over it after that.
That's not good that you rolled your eyes.
Yeah, so for me, I want the omnibus just so I have that full run of Daredevil, because I used to have all those singles. I'll probably just wait till it gets like super discounted or something like that. Really.
Okay.
I have a feeling. I mean, I might be wrong. It might sell out and become a whale in 2 months, but I'm gonna go with my gut feeling and just wait for that to get super cheap.
There's a book. Oh shoot, we were just talking about it. Oh, Tokyo Ghost. The deluxe edition of that is already out of print. It only came out in November, and it's already out of print and going for like $140 on Amazon.
That's craziness.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah. They must have like either just really underprinted that book, or people just snatched it up, or something, man.
I don't know. I thought at first it was just the DCBS variant, but it turns out it's both covers sold out. The whole thing sold out. So I'm wondering if Remender is going to pony up and redo it or reprint it, or if it's just going to be left. I can't imagine that something that sold out that quickly wouldn't be reprinted automatically.
Yeah. Did that got put out through Image, right?
Correct.
Okay, so I can see that getting reprinted soon.
I think so too.
I mean, it's not like what was Fear Agent that is just probably going to disappear for a long time before they're reprinted, if ever. There's a Tokyo Ghost convention exclusive hardcover on eBay for $30.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
OmniDog, have you read your Generations Gone trade yet? No, I haven't. It's upstairs on my to-read pile, though. So there's a solid chance I'll get to read that.
Your to-read pile is your entire room, apparently.
This whole room is my to-read pile. You're right.
Tell me about it. I'm in the same boat you are, brother. And it's not that I've never read these before. It's just that I sold my single collections, and I just pretty much bought them back in hardcovers. But
right, same here.
I've read these stories before, but I just haven't read them in these formats yet.
John P is saying that Tokyo Ghost Con exclusive is only half the series.
Oh, then that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, good. Thank God for John P finally giving us good information. I bet I could find that book somewhere in town. I'll go on a hunt for it.
Yeah, I'm sure we could find it somewhere. I need to find Larfleas for a guy.
Oh, that reminds me. Somebody in the group was asking for BPRD Plague of Frogs 2 hardcover. I think I have a beat on that somewhere. I'm gonna have to hit.
Oh right, I remember that. Yeah, you spoke up about that.
Yeah. What other questions we got going on here? A lot of people talking about their favorite comic strips. That's cool. A lot of people talking about Don Rosa, the Ducks books and stuff as well.
Mm-hmm. I used to read Terry and the Pirates collections as a kid, but I haven't read them recently.
We got a new guy in the chat, I think, named Omnipool. That's a cool ass name. He's asking if Jim Lee's Wildcats Absolute is still coming out, or if we know anything about the delay. I thought it got pushed up. I thought it was coming out like really soon. Let's see. Because I know I'm getting that. I know I have that. I have my eye on that the moment that comes out. According to Bleeding Cool, it slips 3 months. So it did get delayed, apparently. It's 7th of March. So that's going to be like 2 weeks. Or I'm sorry, like a month from now?
For Absolute Wildcats?
For Absolute Wildcats, according to this Bleeding Cool article. Yeah. It was supposed to be right before Christmas.
Oh, so it did get pushed back then.
Yep. But, it's not like it got pushed back so far. I mean, it was, but now we're like, it's right around the corner.
Yeah.
March is going to suck, dude. Oh, because March is, suck for spending money-wise. So March is the Infinity hardcover box set, and then Absolute Wildcats. That's going to be kind of expensive.
Yeah, I'm going to have to break my rule because I definitely want to get that box set.
I can't wait to get that thing. That thing is going to be awesome.
Yeah. I feel like making a 30-pack run. Yay or nay? It's 21 degrees out.
Yay. Yeah, go for it, brother.
Back when I was drinking, 21 degrees out was not cold enough to keep me from going out.
No way, man.
Back
you can just put your
drinking.
Is there snow on the ground? You could just pack a couple beers in the snow and keep them cold that way. Ice cold. Now I'm on a couple beers. What else we got going on here? Let's see. Kenneth Clay's got a great question for Omar and Riley to hate on. When did you think the X-Men books started to be not so good? That'd be good.
They'd probably say Chuck Austin, right? Don't they both dislike Chuck Austin?
Yeah, that seems to be the consensus. That might be a good question for Thursday's show, which is going to be the Valentine's show.
Right. That's right. The Valentine's show's coming up.
We're thinking about getting. We're going to try and get the Omni wives to join and talk about romance and comics and having your significant other be a comic book fan and collecting, and that kind of stuff. So that'd be a really cool episode. I doubt I'll be on because I work Thursdays. But I know Omar said he's going to get his missus on. Mrs. Omnibus Collector, Riley's wife, is supposed to be on. Luis said he's going to be on with his girl. And maybe we'll get the OmniDog's wife on.
That's not happening.
Okay, so that's not going to happen.
No, she has zero interest.
Zero interest? Yeah, well.
Top 5 favorite movies all time.
Jesus.
I don't know. I could probably do that.
All 5 would be the Matrix movies. There.
I just watched my favorite part. I just watched my favorite part ever of any movie. That's the last 30 minutes of The Matrix.
The big shootout scene and everything?
Yeah, when they storm the office building, starting there. I've probably seen that scene 75 times, and I just watched it over the weekend again. I love the last 30 minutes of that movie so much.
Where they just apple core all those pillars, you know, all the tile off the pillar comes down. Yeah, that stuff's great. That's
so many weapons.
Yeah, that was a scene when I used to have really nice surround sound before I had kids. I really can't do it now because it'll wake up the kids and stuff. But that was a scene I always tested out my surround sound with. Whenever I made a change or I moved or anything like that, it was always that office waiting room scene that I used to test the surround sound every time.
Oh, cool. That must have sounded great in that kind of surround sound. I'm always listening to it on headphones because it's on my computer.
A lot of people were talking about Daredevil by Mark Waid Volume 1. I think that's a must-have if you're a Daredevil fan. I love Mark Waid's Daredevil.
Hey, John P., don't be answering questions for me. Sam, no, I have not. John P.'s right. Mad Max Fury Road. I saw that a couple of months ago. That is an awesome movie. No, you don't know what I read, John P. You don't know anything about me.
That's right, John P.
Sam Kluxenberg knows everything about me somehow. You're on to me. You think so?
What's the most that you paid for an omnibus for yourself?
I don't know. Not much more than cover because I've been doing it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. No Annihilation, Fantastic Four. I got those at a reasonable price. I may have paid $100 for like a $65 book.
Mm-hmm. That's not bad.
Like Ghost Rider, or I have a feeling maybe JMS's Thor or Ghost Rider. I may have paid $90 or $100 for, thinking it was a $100 book, not knowing it was like a $65 or $75 book. I think I might have goofed up there. That might have been the most I ever did.
I know. I'm the same as you, Jess. I've been buying omnibus for probably like 8 years, 6 years, something like that, for the longest time. So I got most of mine for at least half off, if not more, off of cover for most of these books. But Bendis Daredevil Volume 2 is a $100 hardcover. I think I paid $130 for that. And I think most of that was really shipping. Like, I think I paid maybe like $115 and then $15 shipping, or something like that. And Silver Surfer, I just got that recently, a couple of weeks ago. That's a $75 cover price. I know I paid like $130 for that, so that's probably the most I've ever paid for an omnibus, is a Silver Surfer.
Yeah, I bet that never gets reprinted. I'm just gonna go out and say it.
It won't be anytime soon if they do it. If they were going to do it, they would have done it by now. Because that was one of the first omnibus, I think. That was like an early Omni.
Yeah. What's your favorite Infinity gem? Your favorite? Huh.
Yeah. Trying to think, man. There's 6 gems.
Yeah, why don't you name them for us?
Yeah, so we have the Soul Gem, the Mind Gem, the Power Gem. Sorry, Soul, Mind, Reality, Power. Damn it, why am I forgetting it? I'm staring right at them. Space. And Time. So
those are all the Infinity Gems.
Yeah, that's the 6 Infinity Gems. I'm gonna say the Reality Gem just because there was an arcade game called Marvel Superheroes that I used to play back in like mid to late 90s, where you had to you would collect the gems and the gems would give you extra powers. The Reality Gem just made the whole screen go crazy, and a lot of just crazy stuff kind of happened around it. But I'm gonna say the Reality Gem.
That's cool.
Or in the comics, when Thanos got the Space Gem, he got it from a character called the Runner, and he just kind of just totally just tricked him like a little baby and got it from him. It was kind of But I hate it. I hate it where the comics where they get the gems the wrong color, or they got the wrong name for the gems, or when they have the Infinity Gauntlet on the wrong hand. Or even now in the movies, the gems are all incorrect. You know, not comic accurate.
Oh, they are? For the trailer, they're not on the right order?
Yeah, I mean, just throughout the whole movie, or throughout the entire span of the movie universe. Like, the red gem is the power gem, but in Guardians of the Galaxy, that gem was the power gem, and it was purple.
And purple I can see how that would drive you crazy.
Yeah. But it is what it is.
What do you guys think is a fair price for Uncanny X-Force Omni, or do you think it will ever get a reprint? As soon as you spend $200 for it, that's when it's going to get a reprint.
Yeah, or if you gather up all the issues and do a custom bind.
Yeah, that's the other giveaway.
Yeah, I mean that's just life. I've been there where I've lost like the channel selector for my TV, and I'd buy a Universal one, and then like the next day I'd find it under the couch or some bullshit like that.
Right. Yeah, I totally get that.
Toga, what did you pay? You paid $160. What was that for? What omnibus was that for?
There's 160 good for the Brubaker DD reprints omnibus and Mark Waid DD omnibus.
160 for both Brubaker and the Mark Waid omnibus?
That sounds fair. That sounds like it's 80 a piece. If you don't have IST, it sounds really fair.
No, yeah, that's not bad because Daredevil was 100 a piece. Or Brubaker, 2 Brubakers, I think, are 100. And I'm pretty sure Mark Waid's 100 too. So 80 a piece, 20% off. That's not bad. Does he live in a country that doesn't have in stock trades in or something?
I think he's in Europe. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, especially for Europe. I know you guys out there just pay heavy for those books because not only are they hard to get out there, but just the money currency out there is a lot more expensive.
Yeah, there's the exchange rate, and then there may be tariffs on them or something.
Yeah. No, Samuel, I've never had the Silver Surfer Omnibus before. This is my first time owning it.
I do know, Samuel, the Kelly song from Cheers. I didn't sing it to her, but when she was first born, my sister-in-law sang it to her. Kelly, 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 Kelly. Yes. That's my daughter, Kelly.
What is she? Oh, I thought she was on the show or something.
She did. We did root beer reviews where we actually tested out root beer together.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
Yeah, and we'll do that again in February when I get my next shipment.
Here's one. Ethan Johnson, what do you guys think is a fair price for the Uncanny X-Force Omnibus? Or do you think it will ever get a reprint?
Yeah, that's the one where I said as soon as he buys it for $200, it's going to get reprinted.
Wait, is he the same guy that was in the group talking about paying $200 for it?
Probably, yeah. I don't know. That is an awfully good book. It is one of my favorite Omnis because I love that story so much. All the stories are so good, and it's one of my favorite Deadpool incarnations. But I don't know that I'd pay $200 for it. If I'm thinking right, it's $100 book. So gosh, I wouldn't want to pay more than $150. I understand your desire to get it because it's really cool to have in an omnibus. But I think that I think that I would not pay too much for it. That seems like a more likely candidate to get reprinted than Silver Surfer.
Let me see what it's going for on eBay right now.
Oh gosh, I bet at least 200.
All right. Jesus, there's some crazy jerks on there asking for crazy money. What's it actually sold for? There's like buy it now it's for like $250 and buy it now it's for $400, but that's bullshit. Do not do that, anybody, please, dear
No.
God. Let's see. So there was a recent sale for $250.
Oh, really?
There was a $185 best offer. So who knows where that went? Probably like $250 then. Jesus. $175, but that was from France. Yeah, it's going for like $250. It looks like. So wow.
Gosh, I think that I would get the collections then, the ultimate collections or complete collections.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few on here that has like decent prices, like best offer. It's $160, but somebody took a best offer. I mean, just don't let that money burn a hole in your pocket, bro. Like seriously, just wait it out a little bit. Just wait it out a little bit.
Yeah, and get the complete collection so you get the great story. E. Tyler Linval saying, "Don't be shitting on my eBay Uncanny X-Force post, Gabe."
For that much money, there's actually an Uncanny X-Force original art page by Isaac Ribic you get for $400. That has some really badass Phantom X images on it.
Ooh, that sounds good.
I would rather get that than pay $400 for like the omnibus.
Yeah, me
like
too.
You said, nothing against the omnibus. It's a beautiful, beautiful book. But if it does ever get reprinted and you paid, like $200 for it or more, you're going to be kicking yourself really bad.
Yeah, you will. Like those people that paid $400 or $500 for the Punisher omnibus,
even,
and then
Infinity Crisis.
Yeah, what's it? Yeah, Infinity Crisis. Infinite Crisis. Yeah,
$400 like the week before they announced the reprint. There was a couple guys on the group who said they dropped like near $400 for it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, let's take questions for 3 more minutes, and then because I am getting way stuffed up for some reason, I can barely breathe. What do you guys think of the Batman and Robin omnibus by Tomasi? I think it's awesome. You do need to read Batman Incorporated before it, though, because it does a bunch of there's a lot of references to it ahead of that. In Batman and Robin, they do reference stuff that happened in Batman Incorporated, so you kind of need to read that.
How is Batman Incorporated collected? Like, what's the higher premium one?
It's in Absolute.
Is it an Absolute? Is that still available at all, or?
Yeah, you can still get it on in stock.
Yeah, Kenneth. Infinite Crisis is getting a omnibus reprint. It's coming out, I'm gonna say May. I know I just did the FOC order on it at work. I just did the FOC, and I think I ordered like 3 or 4 of them for the store.
Oh, for Infinite Crisis?
For Infinite Crisis, yeah.
Chris, I'm dying with all my shit and inconveniencing my nieces later in life. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do to my wife and daughter. They think I'm going to sell everything when I get old, but I'm not.
No, you would have already done that by now.
Right. Yeah, I went through a period where I thought I was done with comics too. That was back in the early 80s.
What happened with that? What caused that to happen?
I didn't dig the Bronze Age DC stuff. That's what I was primarily reading, was Bronze Age DC from like 77 to 84. That also coincided with my going to college from 77 to 81, and I just never read any books during that time. I just didn't dig the Bronze Age.
Okay.
And then Dark Knight Returns came out, and that got me back into comics.
That was a great year for comics. What was that, 84, 85?
84, 85, right in there.
Yeah, because not only did you get Dark Knight, but you got Watchmen as well.
Correct.
And I think Sandman, like the whole Vertigo thing started up about that time too, I think.
I think it started around 87 or so, but yeah, right in there, that little mid-80s period was really good.
But definitely the year where you get Watchmen and Dark Knight at the same time. That's
what got me back into comics.
Yeah. Besides 1991, where Image was started, that's probably one of the best years in comics.
Here's a question for you. I don't know the answer to this. Do you know what are other good Marvel, X-Men, Cullen Bunn comics besides Magneto? I don't know Cullen Bunn comics well enough to.
No, I don't know his X-Men stuff. Yeah, I know he did Magneto, and that was great. I know. I mean, I love Cullen Bunn stuff like Sixth Gun, but I haven't really read much of anything else he's really done, X-Men wise. Let me see. I don't know. I was gonna look it up, but that's gonna take too much time to do that. But definitely good. I mean, Magneto's perfect. And if you want other Cullen Bunn stuff, like I said, definitely get Sixth Gun. That's a beautiful book.
Sam is saying, Jess, there is a Darwin Cook Zatanna piece going up for auction on Comic Art Fans. I think you should buy it.
That's gonna be stupid money.
That's gonna be crazy expensive. Yeah, thanks, Sam, but I don't think I can. If I'm cutting back on buying books, I think I better cut back on buying everything.
Do you own any original art, Jess?
Not really. No, that's something that I mean, I do own a piece from an up and coming artist. Oh, now I'm blocking on his name. The guy in the group that's such a good artist. From Portugal. Why am I blocking on his name? I own a piece of art from him. He's the comic book artist.
Is it that guy that we were going to have on the show talk about his book and we never did?
I don't remember. Why am I? Gosh darn it! This is embarrassing. He's from Portugal. He loves Howard Stern. He's a great artist. He just illustrated the Shark comic last year. He's a super nice guy. Ricardo Drummond. Thank you, Sam. Yeah, I own a Ricardo Drummond piece. You have a Kim Possible ringtone?
I do. That's the ringtone on my phone.
That's funny. Okay, well, let's see. Vampirella. I wish I could somehow screen share this statue. That there's a Vampirella statue that's coming out that is obscenely cool. I don't know how to screen share it. I mean, I guess I could try.
It's the menu on the left hand of your screen.
Let's see.
And it's a little. It looks like a screen with an arrow inside of it. It'll say screen share.
Screen share. I want to screen share this. There. Can you see that?
Nope.
What are you seeing?
I'm seeing you staring at the screen.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, do you see the screen with the little green arrow or the green screen with the arrow?
I have it hit, and
so click on that.
Oh, wait a second.
Box comes up and click share.
Here we go. Can you see that?
Oh yeah, that's cute. I like that.
You are screen sharing. Yeah, I would love to get that, but I cannot. Are we still on? Okay, good.
Yeah, we got you on. Is that going to get ixnayed by the wife? Is that what it is?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't. I mean, it's really cool, but I don't see that is gonna. That's not gonna fly. I would love to get it though.
Man, I don't have any like sexy girl statues like you and Omar. I mean, besides that, I have like the sideshow exclusive Harley Quinn. That's really it.
The Harley Quinn one is worth some money now.
I think so. I should sell it and try and pay off this Thanos statue I bought.
Right. Mike Fiscom, how soon until we get a Jason Aaron Thor omnibus? Or would I be better off getting the OHCs? That is a good question. That is a very good question. I've decided that I'm just going to get the OHCs because I think that I heard something that they're going to wait until his run is completely done before they omnibuys it. So I would guess that's probably going to be 2 omnibuy. So I've made the decision I'm just going to get the OHCs.
I thought about doing that as well. Isn't the first one like not hard to find, but not out there anymore right now?
Correct. Yeah, it's not going for crazy money. It's going for just probably around cover, but it's not in print anymore.
Yeah, that's the God Bomb stuff. That was really, really good. I liked it.
Crazy good. I'm not slacking on the IST plugs. Gabe was given IST prices through his whole presentation of what's available tomorrow. That was a whole IST commercial.
Hopefully we get that discount code pretty soon.
Yeah.
That'd be fun if we got Cameron to announce that on the show or something. But either way, that'll be coming up soon as In Stock Trades gets that taken care of.
Right, and maybe this month we'll have our monthly giveaway for the gift card.
Ooh, yeah, I forgot about that too.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out how we give that out.
I still say for the people in the chat, but we'll talk about that offline, I guess.
Monthly show, I agree with that. The monthly gift card, rather. Yeah, I agree with that. The code can be given to the group, but I think the gift card should be to viewers.
Yeah. I mean, not to be. I think it has just to generate that's going to help us out more. To get more.
Sure. And
and stuff like that.
It rewards the viewers too. Let's give why don't we talk about IST real quick, and then we can wrap up for tonight.
Cool. Real quick, Samuel. Yeah, I've been to the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop. It's gross.
Oh, it is?
It's a tiny little shop. And basically you can't really it's a tourist attraction now. So you basically just go in and you wait in line to get in, and you walk in line around this tiny store. And most of it's a gift shop now. Last time I was there.
A gift shop? It's not even a pawn shop?
It is, but a lot of it's been eaten up by their own like merchandise, like T-shirts and books and mugs and stuff like that.
That's a place you don't need to take me when I come visit you.
We'll be too busy at the hookups at the strip clubs that I was talking about earlier.
Woo!
Vinyl record stores and comic shops and In-N-Out Burger like 3 times a day. Stuff like that. It's gonna be fun, man. That's gonna be a good time. I wish it wasn't so far away, but
it'll be here before we know it.
It's Adam Hughes. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a good time.
I'm excited with that. Jimmy Owen says, I'm happy with IST. Got 7 volumes of Saga and 5 volumes of Manifest Destiny trade paperbacks for under $100. That's with fast shipping. That's a great segue to our final In-Stock Trades commercial, because In-Stock Trades is our sponsor. Order $50 or more, you get free shipping in the United States. You can receive 20 to 50% off your comic book trades purchases with In-Stock Trades. They have fabulous packaging, fabulous shipping, and fabulous customer service. Gosh, I can't think of a single negative thing to say about In-Stock Trades.
No. I mean, it's really hard to. I mean, the only thing I get out of it that's not the most amazing thing in the world is I live on the East Coast. It takes an extra couple days to get to me, media mail, compared to you guys. But I mean, that's whatever. Right?
Where do you live?
The West Coast.
Okay.
Did I say East Coast?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even they have a lot of good deals on quote unquote, and I really mean quote unquote, damaged books. Most of the time you see it in the group, or even yourself, Jess. I know you bought a few damaged books and they looked perfect. I mean, it's things like a small like tear in the cellophane, or a small ding on a corner that's completely 100% acceptable and stuff like that. So
yeah, here's the Planetary omnibus, and I got it for I think $25 or something. It was damaged. What? Yeah, and the only damage I can find is maybe it's kind of a little bit bent here.
Yeah.
If you can see that, that's really the only thing I can see. I haven't opened it up, but it will be opened and read. I can't wait to reread this for our Planetary reread. But yeah, that's one thing about IST with their damage sales. It's crazy. This little ding got me for a $75 book. I think I paid $25 for it, which is insane. So yeah, IST is clutch with the damage sales.
I wonder if that's somebody who returned it because of that or something.
I think it must have been.
I mean, I don't want to raise anybody up by shitting on other people, but I've seen way more damages than that coming from Amazon.
Yeah, I think we probably all have.
Well, that Planetary omnibus. Do you have the one that's printed in Canada?
Let's see. How will I know?
Has better binding.
How would I know?
I think right above the on the back on the barcode it says where it's printed.
Mine does not say anything above the barcode.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I'll probably printed in Canada. It says.
There you go.
So it's got better binding. Is that a sound binding?
I think that's the second print, and that's the sound binding.
Ooh!
I used to have the absolutes, but I traded. That's my first trade on the forums or on the group. But I traded the absolutes for the Planetary Omnibus and the Final Frontier Absolute. And that was like a week before Darwin Cook died. I thought the guy was going to renege on me because he died or something.
Oh.
Yeah. So I got to open mine up too. I can't wait to read this. It's been a long time since I read this.
Yeah, me too. It'll be like reading it again for the first time. So.
Oh, we should just talk about that right now, real quick. So this is the next reading assignment. We'll talk about this at the end of February, maybe the beginning of March, depending on our scheduling and who we can get on at the time. So this it doesn't have to be the omnibus. You don't have to go out and buy it, but if you want to, cool. If you have it, cool. Read it in any format that you already have. The omnibus here is 1 through 27. The Planetary Batman #1, Planetary JLA #1, and Planetary Authority #1. I think for the sake of the show, we might just stick with 1 through 27. I'm not sure how much those specials tie into the actual story of Planetary, but yeah.
I can see now that both corners on my planetary are a little teensy bit bent.
That's terrible. That's unacceptable.
So I highly accept this so-called damaged book. It is A-okay with me.
And they just had a big old sale over the weekend, right? There was like an extra 10% on damaged books or something too. So
yeah, they had extra on Boom. They had extra on Fantagraphics. They had extra on
Marvel. Because I know that Doctor Strange omnibus was like something like $35 or something.
Right. Yeah, they did have a bunch of February 1st through the 4th. They had a bunch of things going on that were sales.
Yep. And that was for that was a loyalty program thing where if you bought anything within December or January, you got hooked up with that extra discounts.
Right.
I think. I forgot how it worked, but either way.
Yeah, there was extra on Valiant. Travis is pointing out there was extra on Valiant. Oh, good. Jimmy Owens is reading Postal. Good. Jimmy, you're going to love that book. It's so good. And after I read Postal Volume 6, I went online and read issue 25, which is crazy good. It was insane with all the interesting stuff that happened. Tons of open-ended questions that are going to be resolved in the one-shots that are coming up. So I would highly recommend, once you're done with Postal Volume 6, to finish it up online. Actually, I'm pretty excited to read Planetary now that I've got it out.
I need to read. I haven't read the whole thing in one batch because it took those last couple issues, I think from 2023 through 27, I want to say, there was like a 3-year gap in between some of those issues or something like that.
Oh yeah, I heard that it took forever to come out.
Yeah. Someone's asking any tips about picking up the Hickman Fantastic Four omnibus, and if we think we're going to get if it's going to be reprinted. I don't think it's going to get reprinted anytime soon. I don't know because they haven't done anything Fantastic Four related since that whole stink with the whole movie rights from the last movie that came out.
Right. That's a book that I would hesitate to pay too much money for because as we see with Marvel, I mean, they just regurgitate all of a sudden, they just blow out all these things, like both Punisher Omnibus that came out, got announced and came out. You never know what they're going to reprint. So I would hesitate to spend too much money on that Fantastic Four #1. I'd worry that it's going to get reprinted just because they want to keep Hickman in the fold or something. I don't know. Is he even writing for them anymore?
No, he's not. But apparently he was. Somebody posted I should ask Matthew Rosenberg. Somebody posted a photo from Matthew Rosenberg at a Marvel dinner that had Hickman there, apparently. So maybe it seems like he is getting pulled in both directions. It seems like he's having lunches and stuff with DC and lunches and stuff with Marvel. So who knows? Maybe he'll do something for both. But I'm looking at eBay, and it was recently the 2-volume set for Hickman's Fantastic Four was $605 it went for.
Oh gosh,
that's legitimate bid. I don't know that the bids were legitimate, but those are bids. So people bid that up to over $600. But there's also other ones on here. Like there was a buy it now for $100. I don't know. There's something wrong with it. I don't know if it was damaged or whatever. But just keep looking on eBay, things like that, and try and find a good deal. But don't go. I don't recommend anybody. That's always been our philosophy is not to go too crazy on prices for these books.
Right. I firmly agree with that.
Man, that's crazy. $600.
Gosh, that is crazy.
And if you're on the group, every so often those books pop up on the group for, cover price. But usually has like some kind of set, which is a kind of a smart way for people to do it, where they will bundle Hickman Volume 1, Volume 2, and some other maybe not so desirable omnibus together.
Right.
But that's your way of doing it too.
Jess, there's a Batman and Harley Quinn hardcover from the animated series coming out. Okay, I don't think I knew that from the animated series. I'm not sure I knew that. I'll get that. I like the animated series a lot. I haven't seen it in years, but I remember I liked it a lot. Okay, well, it's 10 o'clock, so we've been on 2 hours. So, Gabe, where do you think they can find you if they want to?
I know they could find me here on YouTube as Gabe Infinity Watch. You could find me on Instagram as Gabe Infinity Watch. And along with Jess, we are also on the Omnibus Collectors Facebook group as well.
Rightio. And you can find me, OmniDog, on YouTube at OmniDog's Vault. And you can also find me on Instagram, OmniDogs_Vault on Instagram. And we are going to sign off now because I totally can't breathe through my nose. I'm allergic to something in this room. I hope it's not comic books, because then I'm totally screwed. Since I've surrounded my life with them.
Yeah, work up an immunity with that.
Yeah. But thanks for watching. Thanks for giving us a like. Thanks for subscribing. And anytime you can leave a message for us, we'll try and answer. But anytime you could subscribe, give us a like, something like that, we appreciate it. We appreciate your patronizing our sponsor, In Stock Trades. And we appreciate it when you go to our individual channels too. So thank you very much. Peace and love. Peace and love.
Good night, everybody.